To whom it may concern, welcome to the fourth meeting session podcast of Common Sense. It's been a journey, it's been a couple of weeks. This one hasn't disappointed me yet so far. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, especially because I'm recording this later in a week, not what I normally do. Many things have changed, recording settings, many. And I keep uploading and getting this wheel moving, which is my idea. Today is not an easy day. It's not an easy episode. I would have loved to prepare it in a different way. I had a really interesting topic about polarization, which is a big problem. 2023, but like circumstances happen, and I don't feel comfortable enough sharing with you guys any of that topic yet. So we leave that for the upcoming meeting sessions episodes. But for today, what we're gonna do, maybe it's a shorter one, maybe not. We'll see. We'll talk about different things, many experience. I have some idea that I would like to share with you. So that's what we're gonna do. But first, I always like giving kind of a recap or things that of how I'm keeping up with things, how I'm progressing, all of those things. So the topic or the first thing we are going to talk about today is about current situation. If you don't know, I'm currently handling with my internship. I always have things in my mind. Internship, I'm finishing my minor, and also I'm preparing my thesis defense, which is coming in a few weeks. All of that is quite a lot of things. Plus, combined with the fact that I like to keep somewhat of a social life, a physical activity high enough, combined with a good diet that I try to cook for myself and make all the groceries. Well, which I mean is at the end of the day, it's a lot of things. And there are many steps in my organization, which, if you're wondering, currently is no one. Like, I don't really have a scheduled plan or anything prepared. I just have everything in my mind, everything in my head. But yeah, these past few days it's been a substantial amount of work from every aspect. Like, I'm pretty sure it happens to you. Sometimes, someday, you feel like everything has aligned to happen on the same day, and everything needs to be submitted for the exact same day. In a 2-3 days due time, you need to finish everything, which is what happened to me recently. I have to finish work stuff, about infographics. I had to deliver my minor assignment. I had to prepare my thesis PowerPoint about the defense, prepare the speech, and I still need to keep going with my life. That's why these few days has been on a rush, I would say. A lot of things happening, going on. Not everything goes according to plan. Sometimes things get better, sometimes they go worst. But yeah, that's my current situation. Like, a lot of things going on now, which is not a bad thing. I actually like found entertainment being involved in all of this non-stop movement, non-stop action, which leads to a substantial progression. I think that's essential to anyone. Maybe not being in such amount of stress and such amount of work, but somewhat you need to keep challenging yourself. So this is my take for any of you out there. If you are going through a moment of high work, high stress, things are not going as you would like, as I always try, and that's the main purpose of this. Use your common sense to apply it to every one of those situations. Extract one thing out of it that you may find useful, and keep moving. Things eventually will calm down, and a normal path and course of action will be able to be continued. So this is my little speech message for the beginning of the episode. But now, if you haven't noticed, I think, and I hope, this is why I'm also a bit worried and I've been delaying this episode, is that I'm trying to record with the phone camera, which is presumably better quality, higher definition. But at the same time, I need to record audio on a different place, which is my laptop. And I'm not able, as of today, to see exactly how the camera is looking. Usually what I used to do is send the webcam to my laptop through a third-party app and then record the screen on my laptop, which reduces quality substantially. At the end of the day, I need to use the tools or my tools in the most appropriate way, and that's what I had at the moment and currently have. So I don't know if this will add up decently enough. I hope so. And if you're hearing or watching it, then this. But yeah, that's it. So now, what else? Well, I told you I haven't prepared many things, but I have a few news that I would like to share with you guys. First one, it's about dreams, jobs around the world. So as you may know, I have my screen on this side. If I'm reading or looking at that, is that the reason? If you know, well, if you don't know, we talked about this topic of looking directly at the camera instead of looking at different positions in the previous episode. And I have a few shorts about the NVIDIA technology if you want to check it out. It's a really interesting technology, but so far, yeah, you will see how I'm constantly moving, so get used to that because that's, I think, the beauty of it. So back to the topic. A few days ago, they published a research about the dreams job around the world, which I found quite interesting because it shows how the consumer, or in this case, how people in general approach life or have dreams, and cultures differ a lot from one to the other. And this is an interesting thing where we can learn something. I believe we can all take some ideas, some conclusions, some thoughts about how all of this affects on different levels to each one of us, to each country, and to the relations that we have. Because in a globalized world like the one we're living on, well, our dreams may be different from the others, but they can match and happen to meet anytime in the future. So yeah, this is what they say. Like they decided to see what was the job or life for many people. So they studied different things, industries, educations, where they want to work, well, different parameters at the end of the research needs. And based on those parameters and Google search information, this is what they were able to find. So, what are those main or most popular careers around the world? What are the most popular careers around the world? Let's take a look at them. The first one of the top 20 dream jobs is pilot. Okay, this has the substantial, longest, and biggest worldwide search volume. How to be a pilot? I'm not by any means surprised. Flying is amazing. Like it's unbelievable how machines like that we built somehow are able to carry like huge amount of weight on the sky for hours, and you're able to locate yourself, know where you are, where to head out. Like that's a really wild thing if you believe it. Like many of us travel by plane, but when you stop and think about it, you put your senses to think like, how is this even possible? Like you look through the window, you're like, wow, thousands of meters away from the ground, things are moving. It's one of the safest transportation methods worldwide. Well, I'm not surprised that many people, a lot of people, is interested in being pilots. Like myself, when I was a kid, I remember having the dream of being an astronaut, astroneer, and then flying into space because I saw how astronauts took those rockets, threw them away. They were out in space, and then they were able to head back. I was a kid; it was a dream, but the it's super impressive. And if that was impressive for me, it's for sure impressive for many young people. I believe this is more on the young side of people than the oldest one, because when you grow up, you realize that this is not a super common job, or there's not many vacancies to fill. But yeah, sure, like, I get it. And then the second one is writer, which also not surprised at all. Right now, the amount of books and the access to any sort of text is bigger than ever. Um, and then generations has grown with books like Harry Potter. Um, well, now we have the Stephen. No, how is Anderson? Something Anderson. Uh, how is this guy? Uh, I don't remember the name now. Well, you know, like there are many series right now being produced. Game of Thrones, well, all of those, like the Wheel of Time. There are many, and you catch the point, which is many books are out there. More and more people read something. I'm not saying they read many books, but since back in the days, the genre of literature in general has grown. There are many things, more things than before, and there are cultures where they dream about writing and being a writer and expressing dreams. And this is something I believe is also connected to being a pilot, which is dreams. I believe this virtue is top 20, like as the name says, top 20 dream jobs. But the real dreams were play a key role in this side. If we could see the target, we would see that significantly more young people from like 6 to 12, 15 answered that. And now as we move lower, we will be seeing more realistic jobs. And I'm not saying these two are not realistic. I'm saying these are the main two that allows our imagination and creativity to free flow around and go wild. Which I'm happy. I'm happy and relieved that still in today's society where technology plays such an important role. We discussed it last time where I stay without phone for one day and I realized how crucial phones are, and that we got to a point that we can't live with them at all. That there is some hope of creativity and freedom of our imagination in the young generations that are coming in the future. And then let's go over a bit dancer. I don't know many about dancing. I'm not a great dancer. I'm more like a duck on the floor. But yeah, found it. And then YouTuber, well, not surprised with the popularity increasement in platform like YouTube, Twitch, all those kind of things. Many people dream of being those kind of jobs, which are hard. And I'm a bit worried about YouTube becoming a job. Many people are trying to become YouTubers because they believe, or that's what I think, that they believe it's an easy journey, an easy path, and reality says way different. But it's there, and I get it. Entrepreneur, I 100% agree with that. Entrepreneurs are essential for developing this country, my country, the world, anything. Those are the guys who literally set the foundation for the society to grow, and that get funnel the improvements first, funnel the innovation, get the innovation going. Yeah, entrepreneur, like 10 out of 10 for them. And then we have actors, influencers, more on the same page with YouTuber and social media right now. Programmer, which I kind of get because programming and technologies, as I said, everything's correlated. Singers, great, because music plays an important role in everyone's lives. And then top 10 is teacher. Thank God, teacher and professor on top 14. Thank God, because someone need to teach the next young children growing up. So we have something. And then, well, flight attendant, more flying, firefighter, judge, lawyer, attorney, and psychologist. I'm surprised seeing only like science profession. We have doctor here, programmer kinda, and then that's it, right? Attendant, firefighter, judge, lawyer. Yeah, everything is more related to not to the science branch and technology wise, like engineer, all those kind of things. And that's why I said like attorney, lawyer, judge, why those three are here. I think series play an important role. And since we are talking about dream jobs, I think that's the distinction. Not those are not the top 20 jobs around the world. Those are the jobs people dream with. So that's why there is a lot of trendy jobs like YouTuber, blogger, blah blah blah, DJ, who are popping up right now. And then we have the rest that are more like what things that people want to know because they look spectacular on shows, on TVs, or in the imagination. So yeah, well, I have some sentences here saying when I grow up I want to be a pilot. Like as I told, this is like many childhood dreams. Then brighter because well, I told you the flexibility and how the genre has expanded is wild. How big it is, and then what they talk a bit more about the rest of them, but what is the most spectacular thing above everything is how they segmented it per country. I told you I would like to see age, gender, etc., etc., etc. But the fact that we can see countries, we can be here for a while. So having them open here, we have Canada, United States, pilots. No surprise, and Australia, no surprise. What US pioneer in launching the man into the moon, counts with plays an important role on flights and companies, and many people go back and forth in the United States. We are talking about super big territories of like land. Mass land is huge, so that's where I think to get. Then we have all these Latin America countries, and then we move into well, kinda okay. Take it with a grain of salt. From a developed, super developed country to a less developed one, which is Latin America in general. So we have Mexico, or Colombia, Venezuela, and then Peru, Bolivia, all those ones, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay. If you see, and that's part of the topic and trend, they all dream about being some sort of YouTuber, content creator, entrepreneur, creative side. Why? Because that's what they're mainly seen out there. The consumption of social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, on those countries is way far beyond any other community around the world. They play an important role on this development of YouTube and Twitch in general. So they want to be what they see every day on their daily life. They see YouTubers, they see streams, they see things like that. So of course they want to dream about being the same one. And also because the education system, the jobs, and the politics are not as well settled, they kind of look for a job that will get them in a way out of that hard situation that they're living in. That's why I can agree with being staying closer to those kind of jobs or dream jobs. And then we have Brazil, which is businessmen's. Also makes more sense because Brazil is a more developed kind of country. Economy is better there, so many companies start from Brazil and then move. Then if we move to Europe in general, we will see Spain following the same path as Latin America. It's close similar in culture and situation. But then Portugal firefighter, I'm impressed. I'm guessing something in their country is really related to firefighting. I'm unaware of what. United Kingdom, they also want to be pilots. France are attorneys. Germany are professors. Poland developers. And then the north of Europe, the cold countries, all want to be writers. It's well, many books and many novels are inspired on the landscape and the places around the north. So it makes sense. Turkey actors if I'm not wrong, I don't know exactly the name, but in Turkey they have a really big industry of Bollywood movies. I believe those musicals slash movies. I think they're quite famous around that South Asian side. So yeah, I'm interested. And then Africa. Africa, uh, I'm I'm impressed. Not impressed. Impressed is not the word I want to say, but in a way I'm grateful and I'm inspired by them. We could say Africa is the most undeveloped country. Most famine, hunger, everything is there. Diseases, and many of them want to be businessmen, want to be attorneys, entrepreneurs, writers. They are inspired. In a way, they are fighting for it. Yeah, maybe the search volume in this country is not the biggest one, but at least it gives me a sense of inner peace of saying there's hope for them. And then not much more. China dietitian. That was impressed. I was impressed. I don't know why. I don't know what is wrong with the health system and food system in China, but that the most one is dietitian says something about the current trend of the country. And then well, there are some special cases. Japan YouTuber, yeah, also makes sense. It's a super developed country. Well, and then with Russia, we don't have information. Yeah, so that's everything. I'm quite pleased of saying this kind of information, really graphical. I found it to be well amazing. And if we look at the most popular job in social media and online, well, YouTuber is the first one, influencer, programmer, because you're related to social media and like internet in general, blogger and blogger, well, with two different variants. Bisexual teachers is the first one, and then doctor, and then by art and culture is writer, the first one, and in science, person therapist, scientist, life coach, footballer, football player in sports, and then they talk about the methodology that they follow for this study. So well, with this, we settled it. We are good to go. I truly love seeing this research, having a look. I'm not surprised that countries have themes, and I'm intrigued by others because, as I say, culture is well a big thing in culture, habits, everything of how those countries are developed and how they move forward. But yeah, I'm I'm interested. Like I hope they update those kind of studies and we can see more of that in the future for seeing how progression keep ups and how jobs change with time. Great. Now, I like to talk about different things and different concepts. Since I don't have a full topic created yet, and then I have polarization for the next one, and then I will get one more out of my personal library of knowledge from studies for the next one. That will be two main topics, full episode of podcast. We'll keep moving with some kind of news and things. I want to talk about Wednesday, the next one, Wednesday, because I found it to be. I watched it. I knew the old one, and I wasn't really much intrigued about the new series because it was a reboot, remake, call it however you want. But they managed to trick me into the show with all the things I was seeing around social media, the internet, blah blah blah. I was like, I'll give it a go. It was enough for me to start the series, and then the series was good enough. Like it's a have fun series for me, like popcorns, chill out, nothing special. You're gonna forget it, but something out of what they did managed me to get hooked into the Wednesday. So how did Wednesday manage to attract such? How did Wednesday manage to attract that many people and achieve crazy views in such a short amount of time? Well, this post summarizes everything really well. So they did three things. And again, the rule of three. 3 things that Wednesday did to make his show a hit. Let's go over it because I really love it. So what's the marketing side of business? Well, as I told you, when they were released, when they became the second most watched show, 1.19 billion hours, 176 million households in 28 days, which are crazy numbers and a success. So these are some quotes from their chief marketing officer, and they knew it was going to be special from the start. They had an idea and they have a vision and mission. Be super successful and know that they needed to be, and knew they need to be special. Big start for the show. So they develop a 3-course plan: social media, immersive interactions, and flexibility. I think we can all learn from how they develop their plan for any of our next jobs or assignments or whatever. First thing, they were consistent. They created a social media plan where they interact lively with their fans. Every day after the show, they saw closeness, they answer back, they reply, they were live. What they did is they extend those, what was it, 60-minute episode. Somehow they managed to get those 60 minutes, catch you before it, and then extend you afterwards. So from a 60-minute episode, they managed to create like a 2-hour relation with the person who's watching, which is a longer format, a longer connection with the client without having to extend your series forever, which is great. Conversations, fun culture, everything in there. And then they make a strategy. Where should we go? Events. They needed to get Wednesday to as many voices as possible. And here many people approach publicity. They throw ads, they pay, they do collaborations, whatever. But they went to premieres, they went to events, and they play by the word of mouth rule, where everyone, friends and friends and friends and more friends, were starting to talk about series. And from that's how I may have got it. They increased the circle of knowledge and knowing so much that somehow every one of us was immersed into the show without us even realizing. It's brilliant. Here we have some examples of all the places they were. These are just spot on ideas. Crazy one. So good that it's hard to believe. And the team that did it was amazing. Then Netflix CMO, which is Chief Marketing Operations, I believe, he talks about his team. And I think that's the beauty of Wednesday's success. It's not only that the show was amazing and actors play an impressive paper, an impressive role in the series, but their team also. He described his team as a swarm of bees. They can move to where the conversation is and start amplifying there. And that's, I think, it's simple, but yet effective. If you're able to have an idea and start working on that, but as soon as you saw some bustling around, some noise, and you detect that's worth getting your attention into, you finish what you were doing and you move to that. So that your 1% becomes a 2. And then you see another one and you move, and it's a 4. And exponentially, you amplify. And the circle is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they say that's the beauty of marketing. We have 80% of our plans totally set, and then we leave a space for us to react to what the fans are doing. Fans start, we follow. That's it. It may seem simple, as I told you. It's going to be harder than that. But many of us and companies, they set a plan. This is my plan, start to end. And I'm going to follow it. What happens around me, I don't care. I'm not listening. I'm not being proactive. You are not being proactive enough. Proactive is what Wednesday team did. It's have your idea, but move towards is needed. And if by somehow where you move, it implies accepting failure, accepting that you were wrong, you accept it, but you reconvert it, and then you adapt. And adaptation was what became Netflix Wednesday show so viral, and that they learned so many things. So key lessons that this post provides and that I completely support. Give your audience opportunities to get involved. Let's, as I always say, extrapolate it to our common ground. Let anyone around you get involved into what you're doing. Ask for opinion. Ask for feedback. Don't work alone until everything's finished. Halfway done, ask for things. Offer revisions. Offer help. If someone is doing something, offer yourself to it. Don't be persistent. Be clear on the opportunities. Don't stay on top of them. Leave them work. Leave them space to breathe. But be there. Because sometimes, as they say, it's okay to follow your audience, not lead. Sometimes what you're doing, and you think you're leading it to perfection, maybe even better, you take 2 step backs and you see how everyone's passing through, moves into. Because let's have this in our brain. We have a perfect idea. We know a perfect plan for a Friday night. And we know how we're gonna do it. We're gonna get out of home, we're gonna go to the cinema, from the cinema, then we're gonna end, we're gonna take an Uber, and then we're gonna go to a restaurant, and from the restaurant, we're gonna go get dessert. Perfect plan, and you have everything in mind. Your friends knew that it's a Friday night, so we're going out. And you insist the whole night on the plan, and you follow it to perfection. The plan wasn't really satisfactory, and people were okay with it, but it was nothing that they would like to repeat. But on the second hand, you had your plan and your idea set. But after you watched the cinema and you arrived to the restaurant, before arriving, you saw an event, a fair outside, a market, and then you stop your Uber there and you tell them, hey, you know what? This looks way better. Why don't we try it? And then you change your plan because a lot of people is there. Maybe it's worth paying attention. So let's take a look. And then your plan changes. Instead of going to a restaurant, you grab some food on trucks on the way to go. And that event was so fun, and you met many people, and the night get involved, and it lasted even more than what you had in mind. Time flew, and when you finished was like, man, I would love to do this again. And the sensation of loving that, because instead of leading, you follow what was going on and around, and you adapt. It's the most satisfactory feeling that you may experience ever. So that's how we should approach many situations in our life. And then make sure your marketing schedule has room for change. Well, that's not for marketing, but for us. Don't schedule everything. Be open to changing things, to adapting, and be open to anything. Things could happen. Different things could happen that allow us to explore new ideas and to discover and to meet new people and, I don't know, have more fun. Doesn't matter. Just explore and allow yourself to be there. So yeah, I think this TV show and how they approach is a perfect example that many of us live fixed on a box, and for what going through, we need to open our box and get into the next one and close it and then stay there, and we can leave it and everything's filled. I mean, we have everything kind of structured in boxes, closed ones that cannot be open, and you cannot change them how you want. And my idea, more or less, is like I have those same boxes, but whenever I need to, I will break one, punch it down, and move to another one, and leave that there. And maybe I'll come and fix it and rebuild it, but I don't need to stay there until everything is gone. That's a bit of my comparison, and on how I like to take those business, marketing, creative ideas and bring it down to our common understanding. Well, what's next? We are going quick in today, as I told you. We've already seen this one, and since we now have seen those two news, and that I don't know how long could have been keep going. I'm just gonna talk a bit more about a model for interviews, a model that could help us, and then yeah, in our work, in our life, when we try to express things, especially success. We talked here before about the rule of three, and this is what I told you. The rule of three is so important. Zeros and gain that we talked last week as well. Those kind of things, they all start from the first same premise. Our methodology for today is no different from that. It's challenge, actions, results. It's the CAR. It's the car strategy. And it's kind of like a car in a way. Because, well, this is more like when I first met up with this, they completely focused that into interviews. But I think they are actually missing a huge opportunity because interviews are not the only thing that we can use this kind of methodology. So I told you it's challenge, actions, and results. So let's first go through how they say it for an interview. So the first model to actually keep going on later interviews is like you need to set a challenge to the person in front of you, where you contextualize the situation, what happened, how did it happen, and then a bit of pre-text and pre-information of how things were going for them to settle. It needs to be enough information for everyone to understand, but not so much that they get lost at it. The second course of action is like as they say, is actions. What did you do? Responsibility, prioritization, leadership, the analysis of the situations. Did you know what you had to do? Did you coordinate? Did you lead others take decisions? What happened? How did everything get organized? And then results. How did you end up with? How long did it take? Yeah, everything. So when these kind of things happen, imagine it's about how you, I don't know, build a company, or how you make a project, or how you score a goal that won a game. Big thing, something you felt really proud of. And then you follow this kind of action, and then you start talking about how you did it, how you were great, how without you, this wouldn't happen, and all of a sudden it's like me, and me, and then me, and afterwards that was me, and then maybe at the final, yeah, it was also me. Oh, but me, yeah. You become saying me. This is our life. Our life, we're hypocrites by nature. Yeah. We love talking about ourselves, me included, and that's good. We need to have some confidence and some confidence and auto-esteem in ourselves. That people get bored of listening to anyone saying how good they are. It's not about how good you are, it's about how good others make you and how could you influence them and how the whole team as a unit improved. So in those same actions of challenge, it's not my challenge, it's our challenge. And it's not your problem, it's our problem. And it's not 100% your fault, it's 100%, well, it's 50% my fault and 50% yours. Just start splitting responsibilities and taking care of the one you are main responsible for, but you start talking in plural and including others from the respect side. And then the actions are not your actions, are the team actions. Some need to be carried by one person, but you knew how everyone was working and you put yourself into it. And then the results, it wasn't you. It wasn't you, the one. Sadly, world doesn't spin, and we are not in us, and we are not the center of it. The team manages. We. Because humans are meant to be in society, and society is not singular, it's plural. The CAR methodology that they provide, they tell you about how you need to include the team in it. But in life, you need to include friends, you need to include your partner, you need to include, I don't know, the people around you, whatever. Because why you? Why is pride so crucial for any one of us? Pride is not going to get us anywhere. I would say it's the other way around. Pride would end our journey sooner than we realize. Even if we need to accept things doesn't work out, even though we are not the main ones involved into it. Because what you achieved today was thanks to guys behind you, people behind you, and what you will achieve in the future is thanks to what they tell you on what you achieve out of those guys and what others will put in your life as well. It's a sum of both sides of the scale. The society, your friends and family, and you. And one without the other and the other without the one could coexist. They could, but then things would not go the same way. Because remember, every time you said something about you, you're talking about one single brain, one perspective, one idea. Every time we refer about people, we are talking about several brains, several ideas, several perspectives, which when put all together brings a bigger one, faster, more effective, and more efficient. So take that and think about it when you're talking in your daily basis to people. If you're predominantly saying me, and if I'm the one, okay? Because it will change many things and it will improve you and allow you to keep moving and progressing faster. Yeah. I mean, with this, today we cover 3 topics. A good one about culture, and then I think finishing with key learnings about marketing, and then flexibility was the main topic, and adaptability. And I would say adaptability / inclusiveness of teamwork and teams as units instead of selfness. Was 3 topics. I think with these 3 we covered enough for today. I told you it was not my best day, and we're most into the flow. It's been hard, even putting myself in front of the camera, even recording, even preparing it. Hasn't been easy, but at least it's done, and it will be out soon, probably soon. Happy, never could get better, but I hope it, for me at least, it helps putting myself here today. And if for anyone else did, I would be glad. So, to whom it may concern, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next one.